Welcome back. It's Renee. I hope you're having a very, very blessed day today, and I bet you're all getting ready for Easter. I know I am. I think next year, right now I'm going through the Bible chronologically this year, but I think maybe next year I'm going to skip around and I'll, for holidays and stuff, I will do scriptures for the holidays. Like, it's Easter, so I see everybody on Facebook, they're all doing Easter, He is risen pages, and I'm just like, and I might do one or two on my own or whatever, or I might record it. I don't know if I have time. I know I'm reading the scriptures for sure, and I'm really trying to get into the Easter framework of mind and all that, and knowing just, Easter is like the time, this is like Jesus's resurrection. Without it, we really wouldn't have any basis for our faith, So, so next year I might just skip around in the Bible and start my new interleaved Bible. But right now, I'm just finishing up 2 Corinthians because that's what I'm doing in another one of my groups. We're going chronologically. So today we're going to be in 2 Corinthians chapter 12, verses 9 through 10. And again, I bet you all have heard this one. So Paul was writing this letter to the people in Corinth, and he was saying that at one point he had a thorn in his flesh, and nobody knows what that thorn in the flesh could have been. It could have been a person who was annoying him. It could have had something to do with his eyesight. It could have had something personal that he was dealing with. Nobody knows. But Paul says, concerning this, I pleaded with the Lord 3 times that it would leave me. But he said to me, so the Lord said to Paul, my grace is sufficient for you, for my power is perfected in weakness. So then Paul goes on to say, therefore I will most gladly boast all the more about my weaknesses, so that Christ's power may reside in me. So he's like, well, then I'm going to shout my weaknesses from the rooftop if that'll bring glory to the Lord, right? So I take pleasure in weaknesses, insults, hardships, persecutions, and in difficulties for the sake of Christ. For when I am weak, then I am strong. So I want you all to know that. For if you feel that you're going through something that you just can't get through, know that His grace is sufficient, and it's sufficient for you, and it's perfected in your weaknesses. And when you are weak, you're strong. And I know that sounds weird, but when you're in your weakest moments, I think that's also your strongest moments, because that's when God is like backing you up even more. Like He's got you. He's got you so strongly in that situation, whether you feel it or not. I think that's when you're actually your strongest, sometimes in your weakest moments. So anyway, we're going to move on. And so today I am using these gorgeous printables. These are, oops, did I just drop something? Yes, I did. In my garbage. Okay. These flower printables that I spent the night fussy cutting, and the word grace, I have all the letters here, fussy cutting these out. But we got these in, again, one of my Facebook groups. Okay, y'all. The Facebook group that I am in is called Journey Through the Bible, God's Redemptive Plan, and we're finishing up the New Testament. So the leader of the group said she's probably going to be opening the group again in May, sometime in May. When we finish this out, she's going to open the group, and then what they're going to be doing is looking at certain books at a more in-depth level. Like, for instance, I think they're going to start in John or something like that, and then they're going to start looking at the Bible books in a more in-depth way than what we did this year. This year, we literally are going through the whole Bible from beginning to end. So for those of you who want to join, I'll let you know when it does open up, and then you can join and you get Bible study. We have live artwork going on. We have people who give printables to do for your Bible. We have incredible teaching. It's just incredible. So for those of you who are interested, keep your ears and eyes open in May. Journey Through the Bible. Okay, so I'm using a printable that Dalian, one of our ladies and one of our artistic fellows in the group. I am so blessed to be able to work with these ladies, y'all. But she downloaded or uploaded these printables for us to use. So you don't have to have them. You can just do flowers. You can use stencils, whatever you want. But today we're also going to be playing with some acrylic paint. So I just grabbed, this one is baby pink right here. This one is sky blue. This is white. And then this is soft apple right here. I didn't mix that one up too well, but it'll still work. So I just matched the colors to match the colors in the printable. The pink, you know, I didn't do peach, but the pinks and the blues and the whites and the greens. So the other thing I use are these little sponges, and these I just get the wedged applicator sponges, you know, for makeup or whatever, and I just cut the sponges in half, and then a lot of times I'll maybe just kind of cut the sponge a little bit so it's not just like this triangle. I'll just, you know, use my scissors and cut jagged edges out, so then it's not just like when you put it on your page, it looks like a triangle, you know. It'll give it a little more abstract look, but you can just tear up sponges. You can, you know, use whatever you have to add your acrylic paint. Okay, so I did prep my page a little bit just because I'm using paint, and I'm gonna kind of go in, I'm gonna put some paint on my sponge here, but then I'm gonna like test it on this paper here. I don't want it to go down dark like that. That's good. Now I want it to go down about like that. See? Not so super dark like the first application that I get. I want it to be kind of light. And sorry, y'all, if I'm shaking the... So I always have an extra piece of paper here to do that first one, and then I can go in. I'm just gonna do this kind of quickly. We can talk in the meantime. And if you do get some really dark areas, that's what the white is for, y'all. You can go back in with the white. So I'm imitating what Dalian did on her live. So I'm doing this for you all. And because I usually watch a live because I'm always somewhere when I'm watching. I'm never at home. I wouldn't say never, but a lot of times I'm not at home. So now is my time that I do it. So I watch the live, I see what they did, and then I take that idea and I might do a lot of the same, you know, things that they did in their video, or set the page up the same way. But a lot of times I'll change things as well. Like if I don't have something that they used, I'll just go in and use what I have. Yeah, I'm always telling y'all that's what you should do, is use the materials you have. Don't go out and buy stuff. You don't need to do that. So this is kind of how she did it, with some acrylic paint. It's kind of fun. I love watching other artists do their thing because it'll give, you know, I haven't used acrylic paint in a while and I haven't used the sponge in a while. So this kind of brings me back to do things that I haven't done in a while. So it's kind of fun. So I'm just gonna put this blue in different areas. It's mostly going to be blue. Then we'll go in with some of these other colors as well. But yeah, we're focusing on chapter 12 about sufficient grace. I have to put a book, another Bible underneath this so I can raise this up so I can work on this page. Now the flowers are going to go across the top and bottom, so I'm not going to do much along the top and bottom because it's going to be covered anyways. Okay, then I'm just going to flip it over and I'm going to grab my greens. I don't think we have too much there, and I'm gonna kind of just go in some spots with the green. Let's move that. Again, we're trying to match these colors a little bit. Make it a little airy and fun. And it always looks like a hodgepodge mess when you first start. And I've had so many people say, oh, I started putting my color down or whatever, and it just looks so horrible or whatever. They just feel like, and I think this looks horrible right now. But just keep going and just keep adding what you're going to add to your page. And a lot of times I am so pleasantly surprised as to how it all just comes together in the end, I guess. you know? So don't start freaking out and be like, I ruined my page. Just keep going. Just keep going and see where it leads you. You know, most of the time, I got a wet baby wipe here to kind of keep myself clean a little bit. But most of the time, you know, you can salvage what you have. So I'm just going to kind of go in with a little pink. Yeah, see, I should have cut this one, because I don't want those lines. Actually, so I'm going to take my scissors. See, I'm going to just kind of cut off like a lot of those like sharp edges. And then let's wipe this off so it doesn't ruin my scissors. But see, that way, when you go in with your paint and make sure it gets like all over the sponge here, you won't get those really harsh lines. Or you can just tear your sponge, or... Okay, that part got a little dark, so we might have to go in with some white. That's okay. We'll go in with some white. Just want to get the pink color in a variety of areas. And y'all can hear my washing machine. I've got clothes going, and again, you know, multiple things going on at once. Multitasking, gotta multitask. Okay, I just want a little bit pink in just some of these areas. I think most of that will be covered up, so. Now I'm just kind of squishing it in a little bit. Okay, let's look. What do we think here? Maybe that's gonna, I think it'll work. Okay, so again, I'm gonna just start peeling, like pulling some of these off. I usually go for the corners and the edges because I don't want like that kind of image to show. So I want it to be more of a, there we go. See, no straight lines. It's more of a organic type. Shape, I guess, would be. I'm trying to think and craft at the same time, y'all. Think and talk and craft. Y'all know that's hard for me. But I hope you all have a very blessed Easter. We've got so much going on right now. It's my son's 21st birthday, so we're gonna be celebrating that. We're gonna be celebrating Easter. He's getting ready to get deployed, so y'all keep him in your prayers. So he's getting ready to be deployed, and so we're trying to get prepared and ready for that. All his stuff that he needs ready for that. Yeah, all this is going on all at the same time, so that's why I've kind of been in and out and a tad scattered in my thoughts, just because I go through all the stuff like, we gotta do this, we gotta make sure we got that done, you know, and trying to celebrate Easter, and really, I want to make it special and have, you know, the true meaning of Easter. So definitely gotta focus on that for sure. Okay, now I think I might want to go in with a little bit of pink in some areas, and I'm going to go back over with some white. I'm going to fade that out a little. Actually, now I'm wondering if I go in with my baby wipe and kind of fade some of this out even more. So I'm just going to kind of play with my baby wipe and see what happens. Just along the words here. I did cover, now the thing with acrylic paint or tempera paint or any kind of paint that you're going to use the thicker you go and the more layers and, colors that you add on top of each other, you might cover up your words. So if you don't want that to happen, then don't paint over your words. If you just go lightly over it, you should be fine. But like I put 4 colors on, and so some of my words are starting to fade out there. So if you don't want that to happen, then be aware of that. Okay, I do want to put a little bit of blue, I think. Just a tad of blue in some areas in here. And we might as well do some green. Okay, that should be good. Okay, still looks like a hodgepodge mess to me, but we'll fix that. Okay, let me move all this so I don't get it on anything or make it even more of a mess. Okay, so I'm thinking we're gonna put these down here. These up here. So I'm gonna have to cut some of these off, and I have some of these extra flowers. So let's see here. If this is gonna get glued here, this is gonna get cut right about here. And if this gets glued here, this one's gonna get cut right about here. Okay, so let's just start gluing this stuff down. Now what you could do, and I think Dalian showed this, is she just glued the very edges and she left this part open for pockets. So if you want to insert prayer cards or, your Bible study notes or, word study notes or whatever, you can tuck that in. I'm going to glue mine. So I'm just using my glue stick. Whoop. And we're gonna glue that here. If I can get it even across the bottom of the page. But I did want, let's see, I think this one. So we'll tuck that one behind before the glue stick dries fully. That dimension, stuff in the foreground, stuff in the background. I actually might do some pop dots and pop some of these up too. So we'll see. So let's glue this one up at the top. So yeah, when you print out stuff like this, you can just, spend the night before or whatever, get all your printable sheets out and then sit in front of the TV if you're, watching news or doing whatever you're doing. And you can fussy cut. Spend the night fussy cutting. I like doing stuff like that, just brainless stuff while I watch like a show or something on TV. And because I can't just sit there. It drives me nuts. So I always have to be doing something if I'm watching TV. I don't watch a lot of TV, but at night when my husband gets home, he likes to wind down and all that. And so we'll put on a show or something. And so he's usually on his phone. We have the show on. It's more like background noise. And so he'll be on his phone, checking messages for the day or whatever. And I'll be, fussy cutting or doing something as well. Okay, so let's see what we have here. We've got God's grace is sufficient. I love that. We've got these flowers. We've got this. So let's see where we're going to put this stuff. And to cut this kind of stuff out, I use my cutter bee scissors, and I just kind of go in and cut it all out. But you don't have to. You can just cut around and keep that, all intact if you want. It's up to you. Isn't that a cute little air balloon though? So cute. Growing up, we used to see them all the time. We used to live out by a field, and so they would always get their air balloons ready out in the field and go flying. And so we'd see them every morning, and all the kids would be so excited. The air balloons are out. We'd go run outside to go see them. Okay. Let's see here. We've got this word. Go God's grace. Let's see where this is gonna go. Most of this page is going to be covered up, so if you don't like that, you can just do it along the side. But right here it says sufficient grace, so this verse is all about God's grace. Let's see. Okay, I think that's the way I'm going to have it. And then I've got 2 Corinthians here. This one might be a pop dot. I might pop that up a couple right here. We've got this one too. Boy, I've got lots. Where to put all this? We could do something like that. Oh, that might look pretty. Okay. Okay, so let's see. Let's glue this one first. A lot of it's just gluing. And I'm getting glue everywhere again. Let's see how'd that go. And we're gonna pop that one up too, I think. So let's leave that there. Oops, I got some glue right there. Okay. This one will pop up too. So that'll be a pop up, that'll be a pop up. So let's glue this one down. That'll go like right there, that'll go there, that's gonna go on top. So then this one, gotta figure out the levels and layers and the dimensions and what do I have to glue down first. Oh, this glue stick is almost out, y'all. I don't know how many glue sticks you've seen me go through on camera. Okay. Love it, so cute. Okay, let's get a new glue stick. Okay. I had my big stack of glue sticks that I get from Sam's. Okay, now we're just gonna glue all this. So again, anytime you feel that you just don't have the strength or you feel too weak, just remember God's grace is sufficient. And that's when he makes you strong. Or that's when he's strong, you know? We don't need to be strong because God will be strong for us. I've been in a few situations in my life where I just felt totally helpless, totally weak, and God got me through, so that's when I think he shows up a lot. Yeah, I don't know how to explain it. He doesn't show up the most, but, you know, that's when he really, I think, shines when we're just at the end, you know, and we're like, God, I can't do it anymore. And he's like, yes, you can. But he's like, no, you can't, not by yourself, but with me, yes, you can. And sure enough, you know, I hope it's making sense, y'all. I hope that's making sense. Okay, so let's get some pop dots. See, look, y'all, it's starting to come together. Like, it looked like a hodgepodge mess, but now I like that background with this. It's kind of like just bringing it all together. So, hey, it's working. So let me grab, let's see. These pop dots. These are so old, but I'm going to use just the, let me see. Yeah, see, I've already used quite a bit of the actual, just this part, the background part. So for those of you who, after your pop dots are all used, even though I do have a lot left, I like to use these too for, because no one's gonna see it. Let's get this, all the little backings off. No one's gonna see it, so let's see if it'll fit here. I like to use even the background parts to pop it up. And this one I want to be double, so I am going to get rid of all these little pieces here. And I'm just gonna stack these on top of each other. And all the little pieces come off. And then I'm just gonna put some extra glue just because these are old. These are so old, y'all. Years and years and years old. And put that on. And actually, it's going over, so I'm just gonna cut this little part off. And look at that, like I've got like a whole like little section here. And look at it pops up real nicely. Love it. And you know, I'm getting more use out of my Pop Dot pages. Let's do the same for this one. Sometimes it's easier just to use the whole thing than just the little dots, but the dots are perfect like if you have like little sections. But if I've got a big section here, I just like to cut off the whole thing. And just use it all. I'm getting double the use out of my stuff. So I'm just gonna double this up. Stick a bunch of glue there, stick that there, and pull these little pieces off, the little backings from the little dots. I still have a few of them in here. It might look like a big mess, y'all, but it works. It works, and no one's gonna see it. And so then what I'm gonna do on this side, do the same thing, stick those two together and then stick this there. And then this one I might just use a couple of the dots. Oh my gosh, y'all, I have these little backings everywhere. Let's see, here's another little dot. Let's get the backings off them. See, that's what they normally look like, little dots. But I'm just gonna cut the whole thing out. It just makes it easier. And let's see, how do we want these? See, look, and I don't know if you can see it on camera, but I'll show you up close, but it's raised. I love it. I'm gonna do the same for this one. So let's grab this. And I've got this little strip right here that I haven't used. You know, what might be helpful is if I cut this whole thing off. This is all garbage, that's just the paper. There we go, and then that's gonna go down there. I'm just gonna fold it over. That's gonna give it, it's a double pop, and then we'll put a couple little circles on the end to hold those up. Whoop. It's gotta go on top of each other, come on. That's why, like, these are so tiny. Sometimes I don't like using them. I like using the backgrounds more because they're so tiny. You can get them bigger as well. Big pop dots, small pop dots. I had these. Like I said, I've had these in my drawer for years, my scrapbooking days, and that was over 20 years ago. So I'm sure they've been in my drawer for a long, long time. Maybe not 20 years, but close. And they're still holding up and they're still sticky. So, hey. And so let's put that here. I might have to put a couple pop dots behind these flowers, but this one seems to be holding up pretty good. This one's just a little bigger, so I wanted to put some extra there. So that one pops up, this one pops up, that one pops up. Okay, and then the other thing she did, which I thought was really cool, and it gave another little dimension to the page, was she took some sewing thread. I have this big bag of, you know, I've gotten those sample sewing thread things when you buy, you know, some needles or whatever. Sometimes they'll come with thread. And she took the same colors, so like the greens, the blues, the pinks, the whites, and she just cut some thread off of each color. Let's see here. Where's the end of this one? Looks like that's the end, but that's the very end. Okay, y'all. Well, here's the blue. So she took some thread. Why can't I find it? That's the very end. So where's the beginning end? Well, you know what? I might just cut my own because I don't use this thread except for craft. I don't use this on my sewing machine. I just use this for, I'm just gonna cut my own end right there and I'll find the end eventually. I use this stuff for crafting, for different projects and what have you. Oh gosh, I'm gonna have the same problem with this white. Let's see, is that it? There we go. And I don't know if you can see this on camera, but so she would take these colors. So here's pink, green, blue, and white's in here somewhere. Yeah, white. And she would take them and kind of just kind of drop them onto the page like in a little swirly swirl kind of. You know, I gotta fiddle around with it. But what I'm gonna do is I want it right here. So I'm gonna put some glue right here. And then she would take the strings. I think it's better if maybe you do it as a group. Just kind of mix them as a group. And have them kind of just drape down in areas. And it gives your page, I'll show you close up. Oh, it looks pretty cool. Ah, it's sticking to me though. Okay, y'all, you know I'm gonna fiddle. You know I'm gonna fiddle. I don't know what kind of look I'm going for, but I'll know it when I see it. It's hilarious when I'm out shopping and stuff. People are like, so what you looking for? I'm like, well, I don't know. I'll know it when I see it. So like people want to help you, but it's like, you can't help me because I'll know it when I see it. Okay, well, that's the way I like it right there. So, and then I'm gonna do another one, another little grouping. So I'm taking the blue, the pink, the green, and the white. You can do this with anything if you don't have thread. Use yarn, ribbon, lace, whatever you have. But I thought this was a really cool idea. She just took thread and I'm like, oh, and like I said, you could barely see it, but it gives something to the page. And I'm seeing it close up. So it really is, I think it looks really neat. And I'll try to show you, I'll show you when I'm done here. Okay, it keeps sticking to my fingers though. So I'm trying to get it to stick to the paper and not me. Come on, stop sticking to my fingers. Ooh, I like that. Okay. Cute. Okay, y'all, I think that's it. I might have to, we might have to do a little bit more. Just a tad, y'all. We'll do a little bit there, a little bit of blue. You know, the law of threes, it just doesn't look right if there's only two for some reason. I don't know. I don't know why. But now that I'm getting the thread on, I'm like, ooh, let's add more and more. Okay, I'm gonna put some by the Grace. And I want it to be like really, this one just really airy. where you're supposed to stick. Ugh, sticking to my fingers. Stop. Okay. Oops, I almost had it. You're probably all like, just stick it down. I'm trying. I really am. I really am, but it keeps sticking on my fingers. I've got so much glue on me. There we go. Okay. Yay. Okay, let's move this. Wow, a lot on that page, y'all. God's grace is sufficient. 2 Corinthians 12, verse 9 especially. Okay, so let's bring it up close so you all can see. So here's the top. Here's the thread by God's grace. Can you see that? Just see what it adds, just something little. And then here's the thread over up the top. God's grace is sufficient. And then you come down to the air balloon. And then there's the threads along the side of the air balloon. I just love it. It just adds something. And then, so here's the pop. If you can see, I don't know if you can see, it's raised a little bit right here. This one is raised. So it's above, you know, you see the three-dimensional. And then this one up here is raised. Actually, this looks a little raised too, even though I didn't raise it, but just because I glued it on top. Just by gluing things on top of each other also gives you that dimension of forefront, background, that kind of thing. And then when you use pop dots, it raises it even more. I could have raised even the balloon. I might go back and put a couple pop dots, one on each corner here, so that'll be raised a little bit, and then this will be raised even more. So I might do that on off camera, just to raise that balloon a little bit, because I think it's looking a little flat. So I might go in and put a couple pop dots back there as well, just to raise it just a little tad, but keep it lower than this. So anyways, I hope you all enjoyed that. I love how the background now kind of blends in, and that's a really cool idea with the thread. So it was not my idea. I'm just imitating Dalian's picture that she did, but she did such a great job and I loved it. So I'm just imitating it here for you all, so you can do something or maybe take it and run with it and make it your own. So thanks y'all so much for joining me. I hope y'all have a very blessed Easter if I don't see you before then, or you don't see me before then, and we'll just keep journaling, and we'll start, you know, doing some more of our junk journaling as well. So enjoy the weather, y'all, and enjoy your holidays. Love y'all. Bye.